Today I want to talk a little bit about creating your own sprinkle mix, which is increasingly something I love to do in my own kitchen. Here are a couple of the reasons why. So there are some really beautiful, gorgeous sprinkle mixes out there. However, when we take a deeper look into them, there are a lot of, especially these days, really ginormous round sprinkles or those kind of cylinder sprinkles that are really lovely on a cake, but even in that situation, I find they're really, I don't like to chew them. I don't like to bite into them. It makes me feel like I'm going to break a tooth. And they're not great for macaron decorating unless you're doing some kind of like shell with a pearl inside kind of thing. When you're baking macarons, you want to have tiny sprinkles on top of that shell, or maybe if they're a little bit bigger, you can attach them with royal icing later. So oftentimes if I buy a sprinkle mix, I will go through and pick out all of those larger sprinkles and then use whatever tiny sprinkles are left, or maybe I'll mix what tiny sprinkles are left with some other additional colors. However, at the end of the day, I realized that a lot of those really beautiful, colorful sprinkle mixes have so many of those large sprinkles, and so what you're paying for and what you're getting is an overwhelming amount of large sugar pieces and not the sprinkles that I end up using. So to solve that problem, I decided I'm just going to buy solid colors and create my own mixes. I have a couple different examples here. One option here, I have some black and gold sprinkles. I just used regular granulated sugar and colored it with a bit of luster dust, and then just used two other sprinkle colors that I had on hand. That is very simple. You can go with very classic colors and use luster dust to create any colored sugar that you want. Another really easy option is to go for sort of a monochromatic color scheme here. I just have 4 different textures and 4 different shades of blue, and I'm just going to mix all of those together until I'm happy with the end result. Whenever I am mixing sprinkles, especially for the first time, I like to have a separate container and just spoon a little bit in of each of my colors and continuously give it a stir and just check and see, is this what I want? Is this the vibe I'm going for? And just kind of reevaluate as you go. And I just love how flexible and simple it is to mix these single colors together to create a really unique sprinkle mix for whatever you want. And while I primarily use sprinkles for macarons, you can use these ideas for cookies, cakes, whatever other kinds of desserts you're making. So I'm just going to continue to give this a mix, and then we'll move on to the next. So as you can see here, I have a little bit of everything. I have different textures, different colors, some bright, some dark, and all of them relatively tiny and will be perfect for macaron shells. The next technique I want to show you is when you have a specific theme or event in mind, colors for a team or an event or a birthday or whatever it is. Here I have some green, gold, and white. And regardless of the fact that I am using different colors, I'm starting with all sprinkles, I do want to still be aware of the fact that I want different textures. I want different kinds of colors, right? Light, dark, bright. And I oftentimes, when I'm adding a bunch of different colors together, I like to have something that is neutral, which is going to come from white or black, something like that, that is kind of balances out whatever other bright colors you're using. So here I'm just going to add in some different greens here. I have a just like sugar crystal green. I have that really neon like lime green. I have a dark green. Now I'm going to add in the white and then the gold. This would be perfect for especially St. Patrick's Day, anything in March. Otherwise, if you removed the gold, you could absolutely just have this be a great spring or green mix. If you added in a bit more of the gold and yellow, that would be really great and vibrant as well. So I'm just going to give this a little stir, and you can just see how easy that was to create a really fun sprinkle mix just from 5 different colors that I had on hand in my kitchen. Before we wrap up here, I want to show you how these blue and green and gold sprinkles look on some white macaron shells before they go into the oven. And I think the more you practice, the more you will get the feel for how much of any one color or style you really like when you're creating your own sprinkle mix. But as you can see here, the larger sprinkles definitely stand out and they look really nice, but the tinier the sprinkle, the more it can fill in and really cover the macaron shell without getting in the way or becoming overly like crunchy or bumpy, which is why I always love to have a lot of different tiny sprinkles in whatever mix I'm making. I especially like to have different colors of those tiny sprinkles, and when I have large sprinkles, as you can see here, with the white, the gold, and that lime green all as a larger sprinkle with the backdrop of the 2 darker greens, you just get so many textures and variety from shell to shell, and I think that it is really fun and just so simple to throw together. If you start sprinkling your max and you feel like you do want a different vibe, again, because you've created this sprinkle mix at home, it is really easy to just quickly throw in more of something, though it is a bit challenging if you decide you want less of something. So as you saw before, that is why we want to mix the sprinkles in a separate bowl and not just immediately throw everything together. I hope this was helpful, and if you are creating your own sprinkle mixes at home, whether they are all kind of monochromatic or if you're mixing different colors or whatever, that it is a smooth and fun journey for you. If you try making your own sprinkle mix, definitely tag me on Instagram. I would love to see what you create. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye!